Yeah.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's a podcast, beach. Hey! If you're watching the audio, you know why the weird noises are happening. Because we're literally in a king-size bed full of plushies. Just vibing out like two besties should.
You also said if you're watching the audio.
You know what I meant, people. If you're watching the visual on the YouTubes, then you know. I'm always up in the air of if I want to watch a podcast or if I want to listen to a podcast.
If I am being 150,000 million trillion % transparent,
yeah,
I will never watch a podcast. Ever.
I'm
a person who likes to listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
And then, for example, the Two Bears, One Cave podcast, if there is a good solid 5 minutes where all I hear is breathing because
they're laughing
Tom
so
and Bert are laughing so hard, then I will take note of when that happened, and then I will
go watch
that part just to see what happens.
I can understand that. I'm up in the air because like sometimes I'm with you, like if I'm driving, I enjoy listening to a podcast. Yeah. Like when I drove to Kansas, straight podcast, like hardly any music. Yeah. But if I'm cleaning my room or something, or if I'm doing something in my office, I like to have it set up to where I can watch it. Because I do like to see, because most of the podcasts I listen to are more comedic based. Right. And it is a lot more funny when you get to see people lose their shit over stuff.
The only podcast that I like go out of my way, it sounds so bad, as we're recording a video for a fucking podcast. Yeah. But like, I listen to the Mile Higher podcast a lot.
Yeah.
And so they do a lot of true crime. And they'll show like evidence and stuff.
That makes sense.
And then I want to see that because I'm a weird, twisted fuck and I gotta watch all the true crime.
I mean, we watched that YMH Live last night, and we saw some twisted shit. Some things
if you know. There's a reason that they can't show that shit.
There's a reason it's behind a paywall, because that shit is a lot to take in. That's one of those things that, like, it's so funny because all it is like, weird videos they find on, like, the dark web. But, like,
that's it.
You have to decompress after that stuff.
Yeah, you can't just go to bed. I did not either, because it did not end until 12 o'clock on a fucking Thursday evening. I went to bed, and my husband was like, okay, let's go to bed. And I'm like, excuse me?
I had my drive home to decompress.
I just watched a man rip his fucking
toe off.
Whole toe.
Off.
Just toe off.
He popped it off like it was a freaking
He got frostbite, and then was just like...
Or it was the diabetic, like when you can lose
No, if it was necrotic, I feel like the whole toe would have been black, not just the tip.
True, maybe. I don't know.
I'm not a doctor, but I watched 19 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
So, like, I'm basically certified.
Basically a board-certified surgeon.
Watch out. If anyone needs a... What's that thing called?
Tracheotomy? I can do it with a pen.
I don't know if you could.
I've seen it done. I can do it with a pen.
You're gonna be like that scene from freaking... What's the movie with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy where they're cops? But anyway, she does that and she almost kills the guy because he's like, you could have just taken the pancake that was lodged out of his throat out, but instead...
Was that Undercover?
No, it's The Heat.
The Heat.
The Heat. We're the fucking Heat. There we go. I got this. Oh, sorry, that clap got really loud. That's scary.
Like that ass clap. Standing ovation.
But yeah, it was a lot. It was very intense. We've had, honestly, like a chaotic week because I had my run-in with Weird Guy.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot.
My week really hasn't been that crazy.
No. There's just the YMH Live was really what sent us.
Last night was really what
it was heavy. It was very heavy.
And for people that know, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But most people probably don't because most people are like, why would I pay $10 for that? You pay $10 for that so they don't get sued.
Yeah, it's a lot. And, like, it's funny. It's very entertaining, but there's some parts where I was like, I can't watch this. Like, I just physically cannot.
I spent a couple of the clips with my head, like...
Yeah, like, I was inside my sweatshirt like a turtle, hiding from what people do for pleasure.
Dude, it's so bad.
Yeah.
My husband literally came out 5 or 6 times and was like, what's the dick count up to? Because he just knew that there was going to be penises. And there were.
Yeah. Soft and hard.
Soft and hard.
Both kinds.
Shitty and clean.
Some in cages.
Anyway... But yeah,
it was a lot.
I'm an avid podcast listener, but I do not, like I said, I do not watch them very often unless...
Like I said, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm driving somewhere, I very much enjoy to listen. Obviously, you should not be watching while driving.
Right.
But if I am, like, if I wait to watch the ones that I enjoy while I'm either, like, cleaning my room or doing stuff in there or in my office, I will watch them.
I'm a person who really concentrates on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't just put it on and do other things if I'm going to watch it. Because I have to, like, actively, like, pay attention to it. Like, I can listen to it with no visual and collect all the information, but if I can't just listen to it when there's a visual. Because then I feel like I miss stuff.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's probably just undiagnosed ADHD or some form of
It's mental illness, isn't it, love?
Probably.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't take any medication.
You know, you'll live and you'll learn. You're 25. Your prefrontal cortex is like basically formed. So
yeah, what she said.
I mean,
I'm a firm believer that there are two types of people in this world, and if this offends you, you're probably one of them, and I'm kind of not sorry. But you're either book smart or you're common sense smart. I'm not book smart.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like, what?
I'm not book smart.
I was waiting.
I'm definitely common sense smart, and honestly, sometimes I feel like that gets you further in life than a book ever will. My mom's a teacher, okay, and I can say that confidently. My sister, absolutely one of the most intelligent people I've ever met in my life. Incredibly book smart. Homegirl dropped her lunch, was in a glass bowl, dropped it, it shattered. And she called my mom and was like, "Can I still eat the food out of this?" And my mom was like, "I wouldn't."
No.
And she was like, "Well, I'm gonna try anyway." Mom's like, "Okay, well, if you bite down on glass, just stop." Her first bite, chunk of glass.
God. Idiot.
And my mom was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yep.
It's okay. I told Julie that her and Sedona Prince would have really tall babies.
That required... she looked at me because that was like peak pandemic. No, it was like when the pandemic started to like fall off like a little bit.
But she had really started posting.
She had really started taking off, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this bitch in the Oregon Duck jersey?" Because she's hot.
Yeah, and we
like
all
I'm married to a man. I've only ever been attracted to men, but she is hot.
Everyone was simping for Sedona on all 8 accounts that she had, and we were 2 of those bitches who fell victim.
And like when she would do her thirst traps, I would like
hold
watch
the
them. Yeah, and then I would send them to Lacey, and she would send them to me, and whatever. And one day we were in the Walmart parking lot, we were leaving, and she goes, "You and Sedona would make crazy tall babies." And I looked at her and was like, "That's not how that works."
And then I felt really dumb. Because I have a degree in chemistry.
If anybody should know how making babies works, it's Lacey.
What's that supposed to mean?
You fucking studied science for 4 years.
Oh, at first I was like, you act like I have 8 children.
She's a baby making machine. That's all she's good for.
Oh my god. No, all I'm good for is weird, chaotic stories on Tinder. That's all I'm good for.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
I know, you got married.
But if you send pictures of a man's profile to me, chances are I will be able to pick stitch it with something funny.
Yeah.
And it's a real fucking shame that we can't show them.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes I have posted profiles on TikTok and people are like, "Don't do that. You don't know if they want to be on there." And I'm like, they're on Tinder.
They're on Tinder. Honestly, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck them where they should.
She sent me one this one time, and this guy was very obsessed with his own ass.
Oh my god.
And I mean, it was a nice ass.
He was double
beautiful ass.
cheeked up. Yeah, like
but
it was
he had like his little tidy whities on, and it was just his butt.
He had, like, literally 5 of his 7 photos were only of his cheeks. And, like, in various of pants.
The only thing I could think of the whole time was Patrick Starr, double caked up, with a little flag between his cheeks.
It really was. Because, I mean, listen, the man had a great ass, but, like, he was like, "This is all I bring to the table."
She sent me one the other day, and the guy looked like fucking Kevin from SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. And I was not his
Kevin the
#1
Sea
fan.
Pickle.
Yes.
Sea Pickle Kevin.
Sea Pickle Kevin. But what I wanted to talk about in specifics, if you were on my live while it happened, which was a smaller amount of people, that's why I really feel like I need to bring it to some kind of platform so we can really just fully dissect.
So how do we start the conversation? Because, like, you said you hadn't talked to him in a long time.
No, so a little bit of backstory for you guys. Basically, there was a guy, I didn't find out until later. It was last year that we matched on Tinder, so last November. And we talked on Tinder for a little bit, and then we moved over to texting. And I was like, the memories were coming back to me slowly, but at the time, it just came up as, like, you know how Apple does, like, the maybe and has the name? Mm-hmm. So that's what it came up as. And so all he sent was, "Hi, you're the crazy cow lady, right? The one on TikTok." And so when the maybe name came up, I was like, okay, I vaguely remember this guy. I feel like we'd matched a hot minute ago, but okay, what does he want? So I was like, who is asking? He's like, I matched with you on Tinder a while ago. And I was like, okay. And he's like, was wondering if we could have that date like you promised. And immediately I'm like, I know that that's not what happened. Like, I'm not out here just like, I promise we'll go on a date. Like, no. And so I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I remember this guy. He was fine, like, nothing weird, but I just remember that he was like boring is just all I can put down. Like he was just not very good at conversation, and I don't like putting in a lot of effort if like I have to keep the conversation going. Right. So pretty much it just ended up me being like, hey, you know, I'm like, you seem great, you seem very nice, but like this just isn't working. Because if I don't have to ghost you, I don't want to ghost you.
But sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes it is, and I think you're valid. Like
sometimes I ghost my husband.
That's great. Honestly,
you gotta make him remember.
Yeah, let him know you have options.
It's hard for a hoe.
I think that if like you are, especially if you're still on the dating app itself, I think that there's a like if you've put in time and effort and you physically hung out, I think it's shitty to ghost. But I think if you're like in those first couple days, I don't think you're an asshole if you just stop.
You don't
talking.
really have any loyalties to that person.
No, and I really didn't need to give him that. Like, hey, I just don't think it's working. But I just felt like it because like he was nice. Like there was no red flags. I just honestly felt like
he saved his red flags for round 2.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so then, like I said, he said, was wondering if we could have that date you promised. And I'm like, I promised a date? And he's like, yeah, sorry I was eating. And mind you,
I didn't ask.
It took him a whopping 6 minutes to reply. So I don't know what he scarfed down in 6 minutes, but he needed to know.
He was waiting on his hungry man to finish cooking.
And I said, I don't make promises like that. So then he hits me with, you told me I was different and special. So at this point...
Very different and... very special.
And at this point...
You won't forget him.
No, I won't. I'm afraid he's going to be outside my window one day. And so I said, I don't...
His vibes.
I was like, I do not remember this account. I am sorry. Because at this point, I am just trying to like... I really, like, Julie can attest to this. I deal with so much shit instead of being mean. Because like, I just can't do it. There's not...
The amount of times that I've typed out aggressive messages on Lacey's phone because she says, I can't do that. And then I type it out, but then she wants to read it before she lets me send it, and then she takes out all the mean stuff, so it's just passive.
Yeah.
Incredibly high. That's how.
And so he says, it's okay, maybe a picture of me would help. And I was like, I'm good. I assume there's probably a reason that we stopped talking, so like, have a great night.
I feel like that would have been the time to slip in an unsolicited dick pic.
Thank God he didn't, because like that would have been...
I'm kind of curious now.
That would have been my 13th reason. And he just says, really? And I said, yes, I'm good. Have a great night. And he said, you too. Just know that I still love you.
Maybe he was high.
I talked to this man for 3 days on an app and then through text. That is it. And now he is confessing love to me. And like I said, I'm sorry. What? And he said, you heard me, Lacey Evans. Now he's used my full government name. Which, like...
That's a problem.
Yeah, because that's super weird to address me. Like, obviously, in the beginning, he said that he was like, are you the crazy cow lady on TikTok? So, like, I know that it's not a crazy thing that he knows my last name. But I don't like the use of it. It just seems way too formal.
Because he doesn't know you.
Yeah, like, you don't know me. You don't know what I've got. I have a mangina. And I said, I am seeing someone goodbye. Which I am not.
But I feel like as a single girl, the fact that you have to do that to get a person to stop talking to you is asinine.
Yeah. And
he said, you can't just be like, I don't want any part of this. You have to be like, I have a big burly boyfriend and he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah. My dad's Liam Neeson. And he said, didn't know. Sorry, my love. Just know you have me to fall back on if anything happens. Kissy face, winky face. To which I had a full-blown fucking BF. I had a bitch fit. Because what the shit was that? And then, so then I'm like, okay, I blocked him for obvious reasons because I did not want any more of what Drew was cooking. I'll say his first name. I don't give a shit. And then...
But now the only problem being is he follows you on TikTok and Instagram and we can't find his account.
Yeah. So Drew, if you're listening to our podcast, please don't kill me and then wear my face for my birthday party. That's all I ask. But... So then I'm like, okay, I need to put a face to this motherfucker. Because last time when I matched, like, because I fully realized, like, and remember who this is. Because I remember as soon as he started talking and things were, like, flashing back, like, a horrible war crime, I remember, like, being like, I feel like this is the guy that wanted to give me his NFL, like, login to be able to watch a football game. Like, I remember that. And I just thought that was weird. I was like, you don't know me. Please don't give me your login. And I told him that. I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of somebody. Don't give me your NFL login. And so I go back to Tinder and I search because Tinder lovely app has that great little search bar where you can search by name. So I'm going through and I'm like, none of these guys, because it was Andrews that popped up. And I was like, none of these guys look like what I was, like the guy I remember. And then it hits me like a catfish me, okay? He was using different photos prior when we matched and now whole new person. whole new bitch. Like, not even just, like, he went through something. Like, this is a whole different person. Because, like, I'm not trying to disrespect or, like, make fun of his appearance. I just know for a fact the guy that I was talking to, because Julie, again, can attest.
Lacey has a type.
Yeah.
And he was not it.
No. And not, like, I'm not saying, like, you had
no. Like, it doesn't matter celebrity or real life. She likes the same type of dude.
I do. And so...
If you look like Joe Santagato, hit her up. Because a bitch loves Joe Santagato.
That's my type. Brown hair, brown eyes.
Down to a fucking T.
Points if you're Italian.
Like, you can't hold that against somebody.
No. But, like, and he had blonde hair, and I just was like, I don't usually swipe on blonde guys. Not that, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not attracted. I don't know why. And I just remember being like, what? And I don't even know who I was talking to when it was just too much.
It was a lot.
It was too much.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was too much. And I just didn't know what to do with my hands. I was like, I'm glad I live with my dad, because I was like, if I lived alone, like in a city, I'd probably be like scared for my life for a moment, because it's just creepy. And men have no idea how weird they are or how weird they come off.
Sometimes though, and I think it's really shitty, but I do genuinely think sometimes men do know how creepy and weird that they're being, but they do it anyway because it makes women uncomfortable. It's like a power thing.
Yeah. Well, and like, I've thought about it too, because obviously you're not on dating apps. The only times you get to see it is if I show you. But like, the safety that men have versus women is absolutely asinine, because men will put their Snapchat and their phone numbers in their bios. Right. And I'm like, women can never.
No.
There is no part of my being.
Men shouldn't either, honestly.
No, like, they shouldn't, but it's just the fact of they don't understand the safety precaution of that.
But the men that do that better never bitch about a woman being crazy.
No.
When you're that upfront about wanting a sneaky link or whatever the fuck you're doing, like...
Yeah, you can't even complain at that point of being like, she was too attached. Yeah, because you gave her your entire fucking info. Just might as well throw your social security in there, bud. God, put your address.
Put your birth weight in there.
I stopped talking to... Do you remember when I stopped talking to that one guy? Because when he was born, he was like 14 pounds.
Yeah, I would too.
I was like, that's not coming out of me. I am not pushing a 14. Because isn't that something they...
Yeah.
Carry down? Their birth weight comes from the man side? Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. I am 5'4". I am not pushing a 14-pound baby out.
No one did.
His mom's tall. The whole family was tall, I remember.
I'm tall too, but I feel like even I couldn't fathom, like, pushing a couple watermelons out at the same time.
Bro, I remember looking at his birth, like, I showed you, because obviously, like, I don't know how, we're going to get into a hot topic here real quick. I don't know how James Charles acted like it was so hard to find people's ages before talking to them, whether or not you have a platform, because literally...
If you wanted to, you would.
Here's what I do. Here's a little fun factaroonies for anyone who doesn't do this. All you have to do is find them on Facebook, find their mom, and go to their mom's profile and see...
Yeah, they'll post their birthday every year.
Exactly. That's my life hack every single fucking time. If I'm, like, on the bubble of, like, are they my age? Are they older? Are they a few years younger? If I'm not sure, I'll literally find them on Facebook, go to their mom's profile, scroll till I find a birthday post, and she'll be like, 26 years ago, I brought my best little friend into this world, and it said 14 pounds, and that was a whole-ass toddler, and I said, I'm sorry, but we can no longer speak.
Pulled the Uno reverse card.
Yeah, I was like, bruh, do you know how large you were as a child? You came out a toddler.
That should also just be like a newsflash to everybody. It's not that hard to figure stuff out about people on the internet.
It's really not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that people can lie to you 100%. And I can understand that people want to talk to you.
But if you want to avoid controversy like
because
that, specifically the James Charles controversy, I know that thing has like that's all been like shut down, but like the fact that it's happened multiple times, we need to talk about
it. It needs to be talked about.
It's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
As a person, I'm a foster parent, right? Okay, so like, I am avidly trained on how to deal with children that have been groomed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did classes on it.
It's not cool.
No.
And the fact that he has done it multiple 4 or 5 times that we know about.
Yeah.
And then the internet just continues to be like, it's okay, James.
We get it. People want to talk to you because you're
People
famous.
are taking advantage of you because you're famous. Like,
no, sweetheart.
No. All you have to do is when someone hits you up, be like, how old are you? And then they tell you, okay, I'm going to need some proof, okay? I feel like, honestly, that should be a thing. Like,
for anybody.
You need to fax me your birth certificate. Certified by whatever state you were born in.
And, you might be like, why do I have to do that? That's not fair. No one else has to do that.
If
Sweetie,
you want to protect your ass, you should have no problem.
You literally have so much money on a platform. I have, compared to James's platform, mine is microscopic. But I would still not do something like that to cause...
I have no interest in controversy like that.
I have no interest in talking to anybody under the age of 23.
No.
They scare me.
Well, and just the fact, like, it's happened so many times.
And it's so easily avoidable. I hate when he comes on the internet and it's like, they want to see me, like, they want to get me in a controversy. Don't allow it.
Start holding people that are famous accountable, damn it.
Yeah. Because
internet, where are you at?
Yeah, like, it's not just like he said something that was offensive. Like, no, like, this is straight up a crime. Like, I'm sorry.
When that thing came out when he was talking at Tati's birthday, I hate to bring up Dramageddon, but like at Tati's birthday dinner and talking about all the things he wanted to do to the waiter.
Well, the biggest one that got me is when he found the boy on his Instagram, like, what's that, Discover page, and then added him on Snapchat.
Yep.
That's the part that got me, because then he was like, I added him, and then he was so shocked to talk to me. Yeah, motherfucker, because you are a celebrity.
It's James Charles.
Like, I don't like you personally as a creator.
But
if
your James Charles added me on Snapchat, I'd
probably be
like, fuck, James Charles added me on Snapchat.
I'd probably be like, yo, what's pop? Like,
James.
James. Like... Like, it's just the fact that, like, I can't understand it because I'm still very a normal person. Like, there's not a change that has happened.
I feel like, honestly, it doesn't even come down to, like, being normal or not being normal. It just comes down to being a decent human.
Morals. It comes down to your moral compass.
That's the only thing I can, like... That's what it is.
Yeah. It comes down to you obviously don't care enough until you got caught.
Nope.
Because I can tell you right now...
Because what if you wouldn't have got caught? It would just kept happening.
Yeah. Well, because, like, I can tell you right now from experience that, like, I used to have my Snapchat open so that anyone could view my story and then anyone could, reply to me. Yep. And I offended a lot of my younger fans because they would Snapchat me and Snapchat me and Snapchat me and want to do strikes, and I would continue to ignore it. Because even though they were 12-year-old girls and I have no desire to, do anything and talk to girls in general, let alone poor little 12-year-olds, it's the fact that that conversation already is a power. I have power over them because they're a fan of me. Mm-hmm. They like my content, and even if I came from a sweet place of just being like, thank you for supporting me, if I had a 12-year-old and she was like, Mom, this 25-year-old TikToker I follow messaged me, I would be like, what the fuck did she say?
I'm immediately on top of that shit.
Yeah. So, like, just to avoid any kind of issue like that, if you like my content, but I can tell that you are very young, I will not respond to you. And it's not because I want to be a jerk. It's not because I don't
Especially
want to.
not on something that can't be traced. You know what I mean? Like Instagram DMs.
Yeah, like Instagram
where,
DMs.
like, it's there.
Yeah.
And you can be like, I clearly did not say that. But, like, Snapchat disappears, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's just, I would hate for any child or any parent to feel uncomfortable by a message that I sent.
Right.
Because there is an unfair power dynamic there.
Yep.
Not only because I'm an adult and that's a child.
Yep.
Not only because we're strangers, but also because they are a fan, they enjoy my content. Bless you. Yeah. And I would hate for them to, like, say or do something just to get my attention and make either of us uncomfortable.
Yep.
So, like, even as somebody who has a microscopic platform, it's not that hard to understand.
Nope.
It's not.
I don't have a platform at all, and I still know that I wouldn't be Snapchatting underage kids.
Yeah,
but like,
it's just
you have so much money. If you wanted to, you could hire someone to make sure that the people that you're communicating with are of age.
You have a team. Why don't you have a PI?
Yeah,
like straight up.
Seriously,
you have like 2 assistants. Have one of them do what I just did. It takes me 30 seconds, and then I know how old somebody is.
But like, it just goes back to the fact that because he's famous, people are like,
it's okay. He has a lot going on. Okay.
He didn't, you know what I mean? It's not like he did something that was grooming.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody that was underage.
Yeah, sending inappropriate photos and everything.
Right. Also, why are you doing it on somebody you just started talking to?
Men be crazy. They will show you their penis they have to. Like, it's like,
this is my dick. Would you like to see my penis?
Like, it's immediate, without question. I cannot tell you how many times that I have added men on... Because, first of all, I like Snapchat because you can immediately tell if somebody's a catfish. Yep. And I think it is essential to have them on Snap just before you meet somebody. Yep. Because it's nice to know, okay, that's what you look like. You didn't lie to me. this is what I should be receiving when I meet you in person. But like, as far as like up-to-date conversation, I would rather drive nails through all of my toes than to keep our conversation solely on Snapchat, because it annoys the fuck out of me.
I can't do that.
No. Like, if we're going to talk, let's just chat. And if we're going to chat, why the fuck are we doing it when it uses data? Why don't we switch to texting? What are we doing? We're grown adults.
I grew up in an age where you could only text after 9 p.m. Or you can only call after 9 p.m.
Because it was free.
And you had to pay per text.
Yeah.
So, not to sound geriatric or anything, but...
Not to sound like I need to get out my
I'm not using my data.
I don't want to use... And it kills your battery also.
I'm not using my battery to download your dick pics. Sorry.
It's also
not asinine. Because I'm married, because even if I was single, I would not be doing that.
It's also asinine that, like, that's what Snapchat is.
The fact that you can't be safe on Snapchatting a dude because at any random time is like, oh, the weather's nice today. Yeah, it is. Have you seen my dick?
My mom almost saw a dick pic one time because a guy just sent it out of the blue. Like, he was literally talking about something, and my mom was right here, and then it was just penis. And I was like, oh my god, my mom. She almost saw your ding-a-ling.
Teresa would have been changed.
She honestly probably would have been like, what's he working with? Because that's my mother.
A little too far to the left for me.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
I love your mom, though.
I do, too. She's
kind
of wild.
She's your mom. You should love your mom.
Well, you know, sometimes she's annoying. Sometimes she's super freaking weird.
I'm really, really, really happy I don't have to deal with dating.
It's awful. Because, like, it's just a cycle that is so annoying, because it's like you talk to somebody, and like, it's very different for me because I feel like I should put that out front. Like, I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm on a cattle farm.
Born and raised in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So like, dating is extra hard. Like, I'm on expert mode here because any dating app has people from cities that are 40 to an hour and a half drive.
It's a commitment for you to entertain anything.
Yes, because there's like 3 guys that are single in this town, and I'm either related to them, someone I know's dated them, or like I grew up with them. Like, I'm not.
Or you know too much about them. That's the problem. That is, honest to God, the problem is that you know too much about that person.
Exactly.
And you know the shit that they've done.
So then it is like a full-on process of like, okay, I'm gonna have to drive an hour and a half to go hang out with this person. I can't drink because then I have to drive home or stay somewhere, and I'm definitely not staying with them because I'm not trying to get murdered. I watch Criminal Minds. And then it's just a whole, and then at that point I'm exhausted because like I just don't want to waste my time. No. And a lot of people don't like that like approach, because I'll just straight up check in. Like, after 3 days I'll be like, hey, you still in this? And they'll be like, yeah, I guess. And then I'm like, okay.
No, you don't guess.
Like, let me know.
You're in it to win it, or you're out.
Because that's like what I did with the Drew guy a year ago. Like, if I'm not feeling it, I'm just going to tell you. Because, like, why waste each other's time?
Well, and, like,
I'm a grown adult.
I feel very lucky to have gone through the dating part of my life when everyone was in an awkward phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we were all awkward, and dating was, like, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was still weird, but it wasn't online dating.
Yeah.
Like,
online dating is good in the facts that, like, it does make it easier.
You can cycle through faster.
Yes, but then it's also incredibly more difficult. And, like, I don't know. It's just that aspect of, like, being like, we met on Tinder. Like, I don't know. It's just
I mean, more and more people have met on Tinder. I met my husband on Instagram.
Yeah. And I mean...
And I was 16, so that's kind of a problem. But he was only 17 at the time. We had a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And...
Look at her now.
Yep.
It can happen.
What I'm saying is ditch Tinder and get on the old IG, okay?
It's worked wonders for sure.
I literally made a comment on one of his friend's posts and was like, your shirt sucks. And he commented back and was like, I agree. And then 10 minutes later, he was DMing me, what's your phone number? And I said, you can't have my phone number, but you can have my Snapchat. And then I came to Lacey's house, and Lacey's house then and still does sucks at Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. And so I gave my phone number anyway, and 8 years later, here we are.
Yep, look at it. It's beautiful.
Back in Lacey's bed.
This isn't my bed.
Back in Lacey's spare bed.
Back at my house where it all began.
Where all the whores sleep.
Where all the whores. Listen, it's the spare bedroom, it's the guest bedroom.
Yeah, it's where all the whores sleep.
Our house, we have 4 bedrooms, but it's just my parents and I, and so there's the one spare room, and then I converted the other room into an office, but my mom was like, well, what if I want to use that for a spare room? I'm like, what the fuck are we running, a B&B? Why do we need 2 spare rooms? We literally
How many people stay here?
Exactly.
Your mom has high expectations for what she wants her home to be, and sometimes I feel like they're just like outrageous.
Yeah, like, I'm like, who visits? The last, like, 4 guests have been mine. The last people that have stayed in this bed are people I invited. So if anything, I should be the one who's more concerned about having...
But if there's, like, one thing I remember about coming to your house growing up, it was that there was always a random mattress propped up against the wall.
Well, because, you know, you've always got to be prepared.
But where do you put them? Like, you can, like, I mean, obviously you can put one there, you can put one on your bed. Like, your bedroom floor, but where's the third one? In the hallway?
No, there's only 2. The one thing is a box spring.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, because there used to be a whole ass bed. Because that was the bed that was propped up in the other guest room that I turned into my office.
But I always slept on a fucking air mattress.
You wouldn't
because
have
you couldn't sleep with Lacey because you wake up being strangled by Lacey's arm and leg because
I like
she
to cuddle.
snuggles.
I like to cuddle.
I do not.
Sue me.
I do not like to be... I like my husband to cuddle me, but it's taken me a really long time to be okay with that. And I wasn't, like, abused or anything like that growing up. I just don't like being touched. Lacey's the person who likes to give hugs. Sorry, not me.
I don't love giving hugs, actually. I just am like, if I actually like you and really enjoy being around you, then I turn into a cuddly motherfucker. But only when, like, I want to. While I'm falling asleep, don't fucking touch me. But then once I'm asleep, it's like a switch turns on and I'm like, let's fucking cuddle.
I'm a person who doesn't like to be touched, period.
Yeah.
And Lacey will oftentimes, like, migrate when we're at my house because I have a sectional, and she'll migrate over to my end of the couch and just, like, slowly start to put her head on my shoulder. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to cuddle.
Do that.
She doesn't want to cuddle, and it's.
But then it makes it a big deal when I do want to, like, have personal touch with somebody because they're like, oh my god, are you, like, really gonna, like, hug me right now?
Are we about to kiss right now?
Are we about to kiss right now? It does make it's weird being me, honestly.
I don't know how you do it.
I'm still figuring it out. Honestly.
Listen, ever since probably like my sophomore year of high school, anytime I had slumber parties or like people over and they spent the night, I always gave the option of sleeping on my floor on a mattress because I knew that I was not fun to sleep with.
Also, let's make one thing clear. The last time I slept in your bed was when you had the tinier bed.
A fool, not a queen.
Right, and I've been 6 foot since about the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
The blankets never covered my feet.
I'm sorry. You came into a house.
And it was like you slept on the bed, right? And
yeah.
Lacey's just such a tiny person that Lacey can sleep comfortably on the bed. And then I was over here like this with like my appendages hanging off the bed, which I do not like to do. And then I wake up in the morning to something licking my hand. It was usually boo-boo.
Yeah, not me. I'm not that weird. Have you seen that episode? I can't remember what show it was, but it was the mom who would like lick her daughter.
Lick her awake?
Just turn into a little dog and I just lick her little face. And it's like, I'm sorry. I thought me and my mom's relationship was a little bit off. Because me and my mom are kind of fucking weird. But not that level weird.
No.
Like,
if my mom ever licked me,
yeah.
period, for any reason,
yeah,
get out of here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not my mom anymore.
That's strange.
You're crazy.
Have you seen your mom naked?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Have people not seen their moms naked?
I think there's a group of people that haven't seen their moms naked.
Those people have intimacy issues for sure. Sorry, it's just what it is.
I just always remember, is that Bob? Is my dad home? Oh, hey Bob. I just always remember that my mother has been the person who, while she was getting ready in the mornings, whether she was having menopause or not, it didn't matter. I mean, I can understand when you do your hair, sometimes you get hot.
It gets hot.
So my mom will do her hair and makeup butt-ass naked. And if she has to have a conversation with me, she'll continue the conversation, whether her vagina is out or not.
Yeah.
And I've just always been used to that. And
now, like, my mom's was never...
in a casual setting?
No, it wasn't. It was like, it was not her choosing to be naked around us. It was us just not caring. Because it was just my sister and I.
Yeah.
So, like, if we needed to talk to mom and she was on the shitter, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
We were going in and she'd be like, I'm pooping. I'm like, I don't care, mom. I need lunch money. Like,
yeah.
It didn't matter. And, like, same thing if she was in the shower. And you just peek back the curtain like, hey, mom. And then she'd be like, ah!
Okay, yeah, but, like, I saw my mom naked, like, yesterday.
Oh, no. Well, I also haven't lived at home for, like,
but, like,
6.5
my mom
years.
doesn't, there's no, it's just was popping, like, tits out, ready to go. Like, doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see my mom naked avidly.
Yeah, I make it a hobby at this point.
I mean, I'll be your mom one day.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I sleep naked and I'm naked until it's time for me to go to work.
Yeah. I also just, like, I don't know, I feel like there's just that difference of, like, family dynamics, too. Like, I'm not trying to say people who don't see their parent, like, obviously I've never seen my dad naked.
Right.
Don't think that would ever happen unless it was, like, a medical thing. Like, if he was, like, somehow passed out in the shower, like, I'm not gonna just leave him there because
Dad, I can't come in, your dick is out.
Cover your dick. Wake up, cover your dick, and then we'll get you to the hospital. But, like, and I'm not trying to say people are super fucking strange. I don't know. Like, that's how I grew up. And so that's what makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, it's getting mom naked. What's wrong with you?
That also doesn't mean that you should, like, seek out seeing your parents naked either.
Yeah, don't
I think that makes you fucking weird.
Please
I'll say it. I don't care.
Mom, I listened to a podcast and I haven't seen you naked yet, so let me see them tits.
Drop them.
I listened to a podcast.
Incredibly concerning if you seek out your parent being naked.
Yeah, like it just
that's
happens.
That's a trauma box. Okay,
Yeah.
You need to like take the key, open it up, and go to therapy. That's a problem.
Yeah, don't seek out to see your mom naked now because I said so, but I'm just saying that I just feel like if you haven't seen your mom naked, and I feel like it's probably, but I don't know if my brother has seen my dad naked. Like, is it just more of a feminine thing?
You call him. Call him right now. It's a podcast exclusive.
Yeah. He's not gonna answer me, that little shit.
You answer all his phone calls.
I know. I've answered all 87 of his phone calls that he's needed help with merch, and now he's not gonna answer my phone call because he's a shit stain.
Rude. Just keep.
Motherfucker.
He forwarded you.
That whore.
FaceTime.
No.
It's aggressive.
It's passive aggressive and it means business. Well, now we're not gonna know.
Maybe he'll call you back.
Hopefully.
If he calls you back before we're done, we'll go back to it. We'll bookmark that.
Yeah. We'll table it for the moment.
We did Parley Pro.
Yeah, we did Parley Pro. We were
Parley
nerds.
Pro Action. If you don't know what Parley Pro is, get shit on. I coached it.
Shit on.
I coached it for a year. That was fun. It's basically just a competition argument. That's all it is. It's like
Great.
debate, but in corduroy jackets.
Yeah. And a little, like, yeah.
And if you weren't FFA, then fuck you. What you know about farming?
What you know about corduroy jackets?
And pantyhose. In the hot summer.
I never wore... When was it hot? When we wore... Partly, like, when we were in official dress.
Dude, I did shit all year round in official dress.
I don't remember doing anything in the summer.
I was uber involved.
I was so involved, it was insane.
I was president 2 years in a row.
I know. Watch the fuck out.
Big rise joy's going down.
Oh my god. I don't know what they're doing. I think Bob's home. He's gonna get home and he's gonna have no disregard.
I saw the Fajati out there.
Then that's Brad. And I don't understand why he didn't answer.
Well, I mean, no, it was like parked out there when I got here.
Oh, Brad's... Yeah, because he got the dump truck.
Fajati. Brad, if you're watching this, fuck you.
You didn't answer my call, you bitch.
It could have been an emergency.
What if I was dying?
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
So my kid does this thing now where, like, sometimes when she farts really loud, she claps for herself. And she gets so excited when she farts. Because she'll go, and I'll be like, did you too? And she'll be like, and I'm like, all right.
Hell yeah. She's proud of herself. And honestly,
And then in like an effort to keep her from crying every time she falls down because we're just in that point in her life,
Yeah.
I like, you know, you're like, yay. And now when she falls, she's like, yay. I'm like, all right,
She
so
did
you
that.
fart and you fall and you clap. And that's how you get through life.
she did that earlier when I was watching her, and I got a little bit concerned because she like hit her head on because she was trying to climb her little... It's Brad.
It's Brad.
Hey, little bitch. Hey, so I have a question. First
You're on
of
the
all,
podcast.
Yeah, we're filming for our podcast right now, so you're going to be on it. A very important topic came up. Have you seen Dad naked?
Right now, I'm on your podcast?
Yes.
Like, well, we're going to edit it, but yes, right now we're recording for our podcast.
Have I seen my dad naked?
Yeah, have
Yeah.
you seen our dad naked?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. We were talking about how, like, I've seen my mom naked, but I didn't know if it was, like, a gender specific, so I was curious if, like, boys had seen their dads naked, so I just...
No, man, there's an awkward stage in your life as a young man where you shower with your dad and your eye level with his dick.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm glad you got to experience that. I was eye level with Bush, okay?
Yeah, bird's eye, some genitalia, come on back.
All right, well, thank you for that very intellectual input on the podcast.
Hey, anytime.
All right, bye.
Bye.
You heard it here first.
Maybe it might
It's
just...
gender specific, but but you have seen your parents naked at some point, whether you remember it or not. And it could be like a repressed memory, like, oh my god, my dad's wiener is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push that to the back of my head.
Yeah, we're gonna table that for later trauma. That's what dads use when they're on a boat with their kids on a tube in the back. That's the anger that they get out, is their dad's dick in their face while they're just trying to shower. I was just trying to take a bath. I was trying to take a bath, and he teabagged me. Boo!
That is crazy, though. I've never seen my dad naked.
Me either.
Ever.
I think I might have seen like a little bit of cheating.
Did my dad walk around in his underwear a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad would walk around with my friends here in his underwear.
Sick.
Yeah. Literally, Minnie Cowgirl was here, and she...
Is Bob a tidy whities guy?
Yeah.
That's even better.
He's thigh out, okay?
Yeah, that's how my dad is.
Yeah, and so literally...
We're briefs, no lobster.
We walked outside because she was going to have a morning cigarette, and my dad was like, good morning. And I didn't look at my dad, but we get outside, and she goes, is your dad in his underwear? I said, probably. She's like, okay. Literally the second day she had been at my home. Second day I met her, and my dad
Bob just wants to let you know that he's confident.
And he just doesn't give a shit. Like,
this is his house.
I remember listen, I'm not trying to judge anybody on how their family dynamic was, but we were never a family. Like, I know I went to friends' houses where, like, they couldn't wear tank tops downstairs. They could only wear them in their rooms.
Or if you wore tank tops, they couldn't be the spaghetti strap tank top.
Yeah, like, I've been to friends' houses that had similar rules to school, like, as far as dress code.
Yeah.
Like, which I think is kind of strange.
But, ironically enough, the only ones that I've been to that have that was a step-parent involved.
Yeah, which, that's a whole
Like, I remember one time specifically...
Go ahead.
I went to a girl's house. We had a slumber party at her house for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out, like, I was thirsty.
Yeah.
I was thirsty, okay? And I don't know if you ever did this, but, like, in middle school, when we would go to slumber parties, we planned what we wore.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we all had to wear an American Eagle zip-up hoodie.
Oh, for sure.
And a spaghetti strap tank top.
Yeah.
And then basketball shorts, like, athletic shorts. That's just what we decided on, okay? We're all in our bedroom doing that, whatever. Well, fucking hot. It's hot. So we took our sweatshirts off.
Yeah.
I go out to the kitchen to get water.
Uh-huh.
And her stepdad is like, what are you wearing? And I was like, tank top. Go put some real clothes on. And I was like, okay. Then I went in and I zipped my hoodie up real fast. And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, your stepdad just yelled at me because my shoulders are out. And she was like, yeah, I forgot we're not allowed to wear spaghetti strap tank tops in my house. He says it's distracting. And I'm like, that's a fucking problem. Yeah. We're 12.
Yeah.
He's in his 40s and he's distracted by my shoulder blades.
We got a
problem.
Yeah. But we were never that house, okay?
No,
that was not our
either.
house. Like, we didn't care. I go downstairs without pants on all the time. Yeah. Even when I was younger, like, we never gave a shit. So, like, that carried out. Because I remember when we had my 17th birthday party and my brother had moved back. And he came over in my room drunk as shit because my brother's 6 years older than me. So when I was 17, he was 23. And this house had just burned to the ground like 2 days prior. So, like, he's drinking, okay, his feelings, which, like, you gotta give it. Yeah, like, your whole house just burned down. We get it. And so instead of, like, going out with friends or, like, to a bar,
he hung out with us.
Yeah. And it, like,
which was fine because it was a great fucking
It was
night.
fucking hysterical. Like, it was hilarious. But I remember that when it became nighttime, obviously, at a slumber party, I think like 4 or 5 of us stayed. Like 4 or 5 of us were in my room. And this used to be my brother's room, and so it's right across the hall. And my brother came over before we went to bed in his boxers. And I remember Kirsten was like, "He was just in his boxers," and I was like,
"Yeah,
this is his house. Like, this is our house." Like,
the best part about that was when your brother was like, "If you need anything, I'll be across the street," and then he was like, "Haha, I mean hallway."
Yeah.
And then he just disappeared into the night, and we never saw him again.
My favorite was when he fell asleep outside, and we were
Brad,
like,
it's time to go to bed.
I was just
Brad, it's time to go to. I'm Snapchatting. This is fine.
That was a very interesting birthday party.
It was, but it was good. We played glow-in-the-dark volleyball.
That was so fucking funny.
Jacob got clotheslined by your clothesline.
He did. It was so funny, though, because my brother had a beer in one hand and these giant marshmallows in the other. And I was waiting until he had a hand free, obviously, because we're playing volleyball.
He says,
and he goes,
I got
fucking send it! And I was like, Brad, you don't have a hand free. He's like, just fucking serve it. I got
Did
it.
he fall in that big-ass hole, too?
He did. I thought he almost broke his ankle. Again.
He got up.
Quick.
Fall down, get back up.
Yeah, fall down fall down 7 times, get back up 8. Isn't that the same?
I don't know. He fell down and he got back up.
Yeah. It used to be in a lot of girls' Instagram bios, okay?
Drunk. He was drunk.
As shit.
And that's why he got back up.
Yeah. You don't know pain when you're drunk. I tore my Achilles drunk, and I didn't know till the next day, and then I made you go to the doctor with me.
Lacey is incredibly clumsy.
Mm-hmm. Incredible.
Very...
I also love that the first doctor I went to, I paid $300 for her to go, it's just the sprain, and my leg was black. Like, not even being dramatic. Like, my whole ankle, I couldn't fucking move it.
It was pretty bruised.
It was disgustingly bruised. And, like, I couldn't move it. Because, like, I've sprained my ankles before. I was a gymnast. Like, when you sprain your ankle, it fucking hurts, but you can move it. Like, literally just the slightest movement was, like, painful.
Yeah, because you tore your Achilles.
Yeah. And so I was, like, in pain. And she's like, it's just a sprain. She didn't fucking look at it. Or, like, she looked at it, but she, like, no touch, nothing. Like,
yep, something's wrong.
She looked at it and was like, that's a sprain. And I was like, are you sure? Like, I'm not trying to, like, act like a tough guy here. And then I went to a doctor 3 months later, and what do you know? He's like, you have a tear in your Achilles. And I was like, fucking great, man. But yeah, like, I made you come with me.
Yeah, and I did. And she came back out. She's like, I have a tear in my Achilles. I was like, that's cool. That was pre-pandemic because I was actually allowed to go in the office with you.
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic. Yeah, because it was 2019. It was the end of 2019. Because then remember, I talked to...
It's the end of the world as we know.
He who shall not be named.
The big buck hunter?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're
we all make bad choices. And that was one of mine.
Dude.
I can't pick up
hold on.
sometimes.
We have to tell this story. I won't say any names.
That's fine. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Even if I did, who gives a fuck? They're not going to watch it.
Honestly. And
They
if
might.
they do, fuck you!
His clout-chasing little brother might.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lacey was talking to this gentleman.
Mm-hmm. We don't give him the respect.
He's not a gentleman, actually.
I was talking to a boy. A 24-year-old boy.
Honest to God. He was from a different state, and he moved to the state just below us.
Kentucky.
Yep.
We can get into specifics as long as we don't say name. He lived in Michigan originally, and then moved to Kentucky for his one girlfriend, and then they broke up.
Okay.
And,
Yep.
yeah.
So Lacey starts a relationship. It's not even a relationship. You guys are just, like, in a weird, like, limbo.
Yeah, it was a weird situation.
Like, talking, but not...
It was very strange.
He was using her.
Yeah, 100%.
And when you watch your best friend get used by a guy, it puts you in a weird position because she was very happy with the situation. She obviously did not...
Not happy, but, like, making myself be happy.
Right, because she thought that's what needed to happen. And then I'm watching and I'm like,
I don't know.
But you can't say anything because you don't want to be that person that's like, hey, man, I don't think this is a good idea. And then you get a complex about something. But anyway, so she'd hung out with this guy already. She brought him to my house, whatever. I met him. He was okay. Like, I didn't... Like, his brother was kind of a little pansy, but...
Yeah.
He's a little sensitive. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
So it was him, his brother, and one of their friends. Which, by the way, the friend looks just like Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And I don't remember his name.
Me either.
But he's Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
100%. And he was the best one out of all three
Loved
of them.
him.
He was great.
He was funny.
If I remembered him,
he was
I'd invite him.
nice.
Oh, yeah. Very
he would
respectful.
compliment everybody.
Oh, yeah. Very respectful
Everybody.
guy.
He was so
And the worst part
nice.
is that the guy I was talking to, not kind of down about him. And I'm like, I think...
Right, and that's how you know he's a shitty person.
Yeah, because I was like, this guy's great.
He was
like
really
him.
nice. Really nice. And he was down, whatever. Like, okay, we can
He was
do that.
chill. He was younger, though. I think he was, 20.
Yeah. But they had come to my house, whatever, and we were like, okay, cool. Well, my husband and his friends do demolition derbies.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a derby. And it was about an hour, was it like an hour and 45 minutes away from the house? So they come up from Kentucky. They get in my car. We drive the hour and 40 minutes, whatever. The drive there wasn't bad. You know what I mean? Nice guy fell asleep in the third row of the All Explorer, and then I slammed on the brakes, and guess what? He joined the second row. It was fine, but it was funny. Anyway, having a good time. The person in question was an oversharer. Like, he didn't understand, like, social cues.
Nope.
And it's really hard. Like, we have a friend that doesn't understand social cues. But God love him. He's good to be around.
Yeah.
And he gets it eventually. But this person did not. He could not understand social cues for the life of him. It was like he understood enough to know that people were getting annoyed, but he just didn't know when to stop.
He couldn't stop.
He couldn't stop it. It was word vomit.
He wants to be so cool it hurts.
Right. And, like, if you couldn't tell, we're not that cool.
No.
Okay, we're not. Straight up, we're not. We're not people to impress. You don't need to impress us, honestly.
No.
The lack of trying is what gets me in people. Like, okay, you're cool.
I love authentic people.
Right. So, the whole derby, and demolitions derbies, you don't know how long they're going to last.
No. It's up in the air.
The specific class that my husband and his friends run usually go last. That's what they usually go last. So the biggest cars, they go last. So we painfully sit there and have conversation with this boy For what, 4 hours?
Probably.
5 hours?
Yeah.
We don't leave until...
Like 1 a.m. It
was late. It was really late. And like I said, hour and 40-minute drive back to my house. So I get in the car. And he's like, well, let's go home. And I'm like, hold on. Like, I want to make sure everyone's good to go. Like, they got, everybody's got a trailer, For people that don't understand how trailers work, everyone's got to make sure everybody got brake lights.
Yeah.
Everybody's good to go. Because if not, someone needs to follow somebody so they have brake lights, whatever. And he's like, let's go. I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. I want to go to bed. And I'm like...
Because he wanted to hunt the next day.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, we're all tired.
Yeah. Like,
we're all tired.
Us are like, yeah, I'm so excited to be sitting in a car.
I went to work that day.
Yeah.
Did hair on my feet all day. And then I immediately got in the car and we drove. And we get, like, right in front of my house. And I was like, I am so fucking tired. He's like, try me and me. I've been up since 6 a.m. And I'm like, dude, no one fucking cares. I did not ask. And I truly don't care. And then he was quiet. And I'm like, is that all I had to say all night? For him to just, like, shut down completely? And then we get out of the vehicle and he's like, thanks for driving us. I really appreciate you taking us with you. And I'm like, if you get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, it was a lot. Like, I honestly, like, looking back, I hate those kind of stories that, like, you think about them, and in the moment, you were like, yeah, and then you look back and you're like, why did I do that? Or, like, why did I allow myself to be in that situation? He is one of those stories where I'm just like...
He really is.
What was I even blinded by? Because I remember Kelsey was like, he's not that cute.
No.
He doesn't treat you well.
No.
Like, what are we doing? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know.
He was one of the people that I typed out text messages for you.
Yep.
Because you needed to say it and you needed to say it, but you're just too nice to say it.
Yeah, he can get shit on, though.
He really can. I hope he has, actually, gotten shit on. At least a couple times.
Yeah.
Not by choice either, you freaky fuck. I say it.
Fucking Leroy.
He was not good.
No.
But like I said, you don't want to, like, you were excited about it.
My problem is I was in a place in life where I just felt like I had to have a relationship.
Yeah, but like you,
I had been
from my perspective, you were excited about it.
Uh-huh.
And you thought something was going to happen. Like, you guys had hung out several times, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never been that person to tell friends, like, hey, I don't like that man you're with, until they, like, break up, and I'm like, you know what? He was trash.
It was a hard place for you to be in, because you didn't like him, but you didn't want me to think you were coming from, like...
I didn't want you to think you had to choose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't want to be in that position. I've been in that position before, and it was with Lacey, okay? Because my high school boyfriend was kind of a bitch.
I made him cry.
He put me through emotional torment. That was my first, like, my second high school relationship, my first serious relationship. Ruined me mentally.
Yeah.
Made me the bad bitch I am today, though.
Yeah.
Like, shouts out to you.
Because, like, I didn't ever tell Julie, like, it's me or him, but I, like, made it known that I did
No,
not
because
like
we
him.
broke up and we got back together, and I took him to a basketball game, because that was the cool thing to do. We all sat in the student section, made assholes of ourselves. And I got one friend talking to him, and he's like, oh my god, I fucking love this guy. Like, he's, like, so funny. I'm like, I love that you're dating this guy, and I hope you bring him to homecoming, and da-da-da-da. And I got Lacey over here making him cry. Lacey made him cry I don't know how many times. Not that it was hard. And I'm not saying that men can't be emotional, but, like, sometimes, dude, you gotta reel it in. You gotta...
Because, like, as we can tell from the conversation, I'm a pretty passive person, so it's not like I was, like, screaming at him.
But he was also extremely annoying.
Yeah.
That needs to be added.
Yeah.
He was very annoying. I feel bad for trashing. I don't care, actually. I don't care.
Yeah, he was a shit.
He's married now.
Yeah.
We've all moved on.
Yeah. Like, I just remember he was terrible to you. I hated the way he treated you, and so I just did not like him, and he annoyed the fuck out of me. He tried to be my friend. Because let me just add that the reason why I had so much aggression is because one of the times he broke up with Julie, he then immediately texted me to try to get with me, and then got back with Julie. So yeah, at this basketball game, anytime he talked to me, I said, shut the fuck up.
Mind you, and this is honestly I hope to God had a lot to do with the fact that we were in high school. Mm-hmm. But he literally texted me 3 days after we broke up and was like, do you have any hot friends?
Straight up.
Like, I'm 16. None of us are hot, okay?
Yeah,
we're all ugly.
Yeah, first of all, we are 2011.
We all look like potatoes.
So none of us are hot. Second of all, get the fuck out of here.
But, like... It was.
But like I said, and then because I didn't date in high school because I was very insecure, and then I really didn't date in college, so I feel like that relationship that I had was just me thinking I needed to force a relationship because I needed to be in one finally, like almost like break that seal. So I was just looking past every red flag. Yep. And like, it was not good.
But you do that, honestly, though, and I mean, people who aren't even in that space.
I've done it with friendships.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of failed friendships because I look past all those red flags because I just want to have, like, I just enjoy being around people and I see the best in them, and especially if they have a sob story or something, I'm like, fuck, yeah. Like, come in, I'll take care, I help.
Yep.
And then it ends up just screwing you over. So sometimes you do have to be more abrasive and aggressive, and that's very hard for me. So that's why I have this one.
Yeah, I'm the backbone of Lacey.
Yeah. She's the Brillo side of my sponge. That's a terrible analogy.
Christ. Oh, funny story. When Josh and I broke up the first time, mind you, when I say serious relationship, it was all of 8 months.
Yeah.
It was
that serious.
But it was like over the summer, so like we spent a lot of time together because it was the summer.
And you were also 16, like you're allowed to call that serious.
We both played like summer baseball and softball at the same ball fields. Like we were together all the time.
Yeah. It's allowed to be serious. I mean, it was for you at 16.
But when we broke up, I remember that was my first like real breakup because my first high school boyfriend, we dated, air quote dated.
Yeah.
Because I was in the 8th grade and he was about to be a senior in high school.
Yeah, so that was a interesting experience.
So him going into his senior year, me going into my freshman year, all of his friends broke up with their freshman girlfriends, and he was like, oh fuck, I need to do that too.
Yeah.
So he broke up with me, which is fine. There was nothing there, really. Yeah. There wasn't. It was just me giving me like clout of being like, I have a senior boyfriend. But he wasn't shit either.
I'm pulling grown men.
I'm pulling actual men, and you guys are dating middle schoolers.
So get shit on.
But like we broke up, and I remember I was so heartbroken about it, and I just went out because we both had little sisters, and I forced my little sister to be friends with his little sister. Whether or not they actually had a friendship, I don't know. But like I just know that was like my get to go. Like okay, well, so like I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And Kelsey sold her iPad to his little sister, or her iPod, and Mom was gonna take it over there. And she was like, oh, do you want to go with me? And I was like, no, but you can give this back. And that was when, like, you give your class ring to somebody, and you guys were basically married.
Yeah, that's an engagement ring right there.
I didn't have a class ring, and I gave him my grandma's engagement ring, which was dumb.
Yeah.
That was so dumb, because teenage boys are stupid.
Yeah.
But I gave that to him, and he gave me his class ring. I'm like, you can return his class ring and his fighting necklace. Because remember the fightins, the fucking little braided necklaces that all the athletes wore? Because it's supposed
athlete
to help
is such a stretch for him.
Help you. Anyway, those who know, no. Those who don't, sorry, you weren't cool enough. But I used to wear his class ring on a fighting necklace. And I was like, you take this back? And Mom was like, did you break up? And I was like, yeah, we broke up, Mom, and I just don't know what to do. And she was like, it's okay. Meanwhile, she was fucking celebrating because she fucking hated the guy.
No one liked him.
She did not like him.
Sorry if you're finding out now. It shouldn't be a shock.
But anyway, she made me go. She made me go with her to his house.
Oh, hell no.
So my mom goes in with my little sister to his house. I took Bethany with me. We're sitting in the back of the car. I'm hoping that means he won't come out. Like, I'm hoping that means, like, oh, she's not in the front seat, so she must not be with you.
Yeah.
No, nothing stopped him. He came and did a full investigation. He went outside to my mom's car, looked in the front, didn't see me, taps on the back glass behind the passenger seat. Bethany rolls her window down. She's like, it's not me.
Yeah.
And then rolls the window back up like a real fucking bitch. Because Bethany's a bad bitch. And then comes around to my side. Lacey. And he goes, and I roll my window down. I was like, can I help you? And he was like, you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Because the whole breakup came down to me helping a friend, and he didn't like that.
Straight up.
Like, this friend, we were both very close to. He and I were both very close to. And he had messaged me one night and was like, I just don't think I can do this anymore. Like, talking about suicide.
Yeah.
And so I stayed up with him all night, like, talking on the phone with him, basically being like, hey, man,